In this video, I'm going to explain the easy way to start investing with just $1,000. In my first year at college, I got struck with the entrepreneurial spirit and I wanted to make money on my own. I had always heard about how you can make money in the stock market, so I decided to put some money there. So my goal was to take a few $100s that I had at the time, put it into the stock market and become a millionaire. But I had no clue what I was doing or even where to start. So like most people, I looked at companies that I was familiar with by name and I decided to buy some shares. But unfortunately, the only company that I was very familiar with and that I could afford at the time was GE. I figured I was buying a well-known company. All I had to do was deposit the money, sit back and watch the money roll in. Of course, I was greatly mistaken, because over time I started to realize that I wasn't making much money at all. I would make maybe a few dollars a month, so I almost felt betrayed about this dream of investing money and becoming rich. I would see the stock go down and my account obviously would go down as well, because that was the only thing that I owned at the time, and that was because I didn't understand diversification. So once I understood that I needed to diversify, I figured, well, okay, I'll buy another stock. So then I had two stocks and I said, okay, I'm diversified. So although in my mind I thought I was diversified, I really wasn't, because if either one of these two companies had a big downturn, my account would still go through some pain. So once I properly learned how to diversify, I realized that the easiest way to do this is an investment like index funds. With $1,000, you have to be very careful with this money because you don't want to lose it, especially on your first investment, because it may have taken you some time to save up this $1,000, so you want to take care of it as best you can. So an index fund is a type of fund that tracks a specific index of the stock market. The most well-known indexes being the S&P 500, the NASDAQ Composite, and the Dow Jones Industrial. Now, index funds don't have fund managers like mutual funds, because index funds are based off of the stocks that are already in the index. Since index funds don't require a lot of maintenance, they typically have very low fees and expenses, which makes it very attractive for anyone that's trying to invest into the market. Now, where do you buy these? Index funds as well as stocks are really easy to buy for anyone these days because of the large amount of online brokers. But the difference with index funds compared to stocks is, depending on which broker you choose, you will have a different selection of index funds that you can invest into. For example, Fidelity has index funds, Vanguard has index funds, Charles Schwab, and other brokers as well. But each broker tends to have index funds that are exclusive to that particular broker. If I was to open a Fidelity account, I might not see all of the index funds that Vanguard provides. But as far as popularity and confidence, Vanguard and Fidelity are typically the go-to brokers when it comes to index funds and pretty much any other kind of investing as well. They have very high quality index funds, and the brokers themselves have a great reputation and have been stable for many years. I have Vanguard index funds in my 401k, and I have Fidelity index funds in my personal retirement accounts, so you can't go wrong with either. Now, to open an account is really simple. You can go to Fidelity, click open an account. Now, if you don't have a Roth IRA, it's a good idea to open up a Roth IRA first before you open up a brokerage account, especially since you can only contribute up to a certain amount for your Roth anyway. If you would happen to have more money outside of that contribution limit for the year, then you can decide where you want to invest that extra money. So you click open now, are you a Fidelity customer or not, and then you follow the prompts. Once you fill in your information to open up your account, then you can connect one of your bank accounts to make wire transfers from your bank account to your investment account. This entire process to open up an account should take you no more than 10 to 15 minutes, and that's how easy it is. Now, once you make your first wire transfer to your investment account, it typically takes up to 3 business days before this money clears. So if you initiate the transfer and you don't see the money available immediately to trade or invest, don't be alarmed. It's completely normal. Now, we have to talk about consistency. $1,000 is a great investment to get started for anyone, but the key to this investing game is consistency. Consistency on how much you're investing, when you're investing, and what you're investing in. So in order to maximize this $1,000, you want to concentrate it as much as you can. Normally, most people wouldn't recommend to concentrate your money into a few investments, and this will make sense if you're buying individual stocks or high-risk assets like some crypto coins or something. But since an index fund is already diversified, it's a great strategy to concentrate your money as much as you can into maybe a couple or a few index funds at max, in my opinion. For a simple and easy way, it's often recommended 3-fund approach when it comes to investing in index funds, because this strategy is for those that just want to invest into the market. They want to treat it as more of a passive approach. So what is the 3-fund approach? This means you want to invest in 3 different types of index funds: US stocks, international stocks, and bonds. Now, if you're on the younger side, going pretty heavy on bonds is not going to help you a lot, because bonds are seen as more of a security investment and not an investment that's going to grow your account much. Bonds are great when you start to get a little bit older, you start getting closer towards retirement, and you want to protect all the gains that you've made in the previous years. So with this 3-fund approach, you have a few different strategies that you can take regarding the percentage of what you're going to be invested in out of this $1,000. If you're on the younger side, or if you just have a higher risk tolerance like I do, then the 80-20 approach is a great idea. This means 80% in stocks and 20% in bonds. But as I mentioned, I have a pretty high risk tolerance, so this 80-20 is gonna look more like a 90-10 for me, but that's my personal preference. So the 80-20 may look something like this. You could have 65% in US stocks, 15% in international stocks, and then 20% in bonds. Now, if you want a more balanced approach, you can do the 33 allocation, which means 33% in US stocks, 33% in international stocks, and 33% in bonds. If you're getting closer towards retirement or you just do not like risk at all, then you can try the 20-80 approach, and that could look something like 15% in US stocks, 5% in international stocks, and 80% in bonds. This type of approach is to protect your investment that you've gained over the years, or if you just want to reduce your risk overall. So for US stocks, some great funds are the Fidelity S&P 500 Index Fund, the Vanguard 500 Index Fund, and either the Fidelity Total Stock Market Index Fund or the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. For international, you have the Fidelity International Index Fund, the Vanguard Developed Market Index Fund, or the Vanguard Total International Stock Index Fund. For bonds, you can look at the Fidelity Short-Term Treasury Bond Index, the Vanguard Short-Term Bond Index Fund, and the Fidelity Inflation Protected Bond Index Fund. Now we know how we want to invest, we know what we want to invest in, now we have to maximize this investment as much as possible. Although $1,000 is a great start, you can't stop there, because the goal is always to contribute more and more to this account as your income increases or as your expenses are reduced. So if you start out with $1,000, then you can go small and maybe add another $50 to $100 a month to that investment, no matter if the market is up or down, because the habit that we're trying to create is consistency. We're also investing for the midterm to the somewhat long term. It's no secret that the longer that your money is into the market, the more chance you have of making more money due to compounding and also riding that wave of the markets going up and down. It's a good idea not to invest any money into the market that you're going to need in the next 5 years or so. If you need this money in 5 years or less, try not to put it into the market. This is money that you want to put into your account and not really pay much attention to it and just watch it grow over time. It's also a good idea to set up automatic contributions to your investment account, because life happens, let's be honest. And if you say you want to invest a certain amount per month, something is going to come up one of these months and you're going to be tempted not to invest into that account, which is a habit that we don't want to create. So no matter if you choose automatic contributions or not, have some type of strategy in place where you can pay yourself first. So as far as account types, I personally like Roth accounts, whether that's a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA. Now the tax advantage to these Roth accounts is you can make contributions now, money that you've already paid taxes on today, but as your money grows in these accounts and you get closer towards retirement, you want to withdraw that money, you don't have to pay any taxes on this money that you're withdrawing. If you got your Roth up to $2 million, you don't have to pay $1 extra when you start withdrawing that money towards retirement. This is not the same compared to your traditional IRA account. When you start withdrawing that money in the future in these type of accounts, you will have to pay taxes on it in the amount that's associated with your tax bracket. But the thing about these retirement accounts is that they have a contribution limit per year. Now, if you can reach these limits, then it's a good idea that you may want to open up a brokerage account, or at the bare minimum, a high yield savings account that you can start putting that money into those accounts as well. Now, with these steps, continuing to invest over that $1,000, being patient and being consistent, you will be surprised as you can see this account start to grow and your money will build and build over time. So if you like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this.